Another D-Link webinar here. We're back for 2026, and we've got a real banger to kick the year off, as we're going to be talking about Wi-Fi 7. So what we're going to go through today is a brief introduction to Wi-Fi 7, what it can do for your home network, what it can do for your business network, the new features that it brings, and then we're going to look at the D-Link portfolio. And right at the very end of the webinar, so you have to stick around to find out this part, is it worth you upgrading to Wi-Fi 7 at the current time? So with me as always today, if I can get the next slide to come up, there we go. We've got our channel account manager here, Mark Carty.
Good afternoon all, hope you're well.
And the fully abbreviated job title of Phil Huang.
Hi.
Because his job title doesn't fit within the caps limit of a Microsoft presentation. So we shortened Phil down to our BDM and FAE manager. He's just the man that does everything. So that's why Phil's with us today.
Thank you, Alan.
That's all right, no problem. Wi-Fi 7. So Wi-Fi 7 is it's probably now the current generation.
The seventh generation of Wi-Fi.
It's the seventh generation Wi-Fi, but it's probably now current level because, you know, it took a while when Wi-Fi 6 was still around. We were still referring it to the next gen of Wi-Fi 7. I think Wi-Fi 7 is now probably reaching that critical point within the marketplace of penetration and getting into people's homes. So aptly timed for us to come out with our absolute full range of Wi-Fi 7 products that you can see over there on the left. Wi-Fi 7, also known as IEEE 802.11be for those of you who are completionists. Obviously Wi-Fi 6 was the same abbreviation for AX, and then we had AC before that. It's designed to dramatically improve wireless performance. So building on the improvements of Wi-Fi 6, we'll take you through firstly what those improvements are, and then the features by which Wi-Fi 7 achieves those improvements. So, Phil, do you want to whiz through this? What Wi-Fi 7 is bringing for people?
Yeah. So with each generation or each iteration of Wi-Fi technology that's coming along, I think when IEEE sits down to think about what to plan for how the technology is going forward, they will always have in mind what the future demands of devices will be, whether it comes to things like bandwidth requirements, device density within the area, how many things are connected, as well as the things like latency and also interference. And whilst Wi-Fi 7 has been around for, I guess in terms of technology for quite a number of years.
Yeah,
as Alan said,
at least.
As Alan said, we've come to the point where I think in terms of market adoption especially for end devices, it's becoming more and more mainstream because of the hardware being incorporated into our everyday equipments more and more now, including TVs, phones, laptops, consoles, and so on.
That really wasn't the case a couple of years ago when it first launched, and before the standards for Wi-Fi 7 were really ratified as well. So
you can see this, as Alan's shown on screen there. As we all know, contents, and also everything that we do online is becoming more and more higher resolution and requires higher bandwidth because of the screens that we use, and also the amount of data that is being passed through. Whether it's 8K videos or even on-demand online gaming, that all the processing is done in the cloud, and you're just getting a stream. And people do care about latency especially when it comes to gaming.
Yeah, especially when they're losing.
Yeah, I can contest to that.
It wasn't me, it was the lag.
and I think everybody knows that every single home, the number of devices that are now connected, even compared to a year or two ago, is incredible. Because I mean,
Think about it now. We've got things like smart fridges. We've got things like washing
machine, yeah,
connected to the network. You've got 3 or 4 kids all connecting 2 or 3 devices at a single go. So the more devices that are connected to the router, to the Wi-Fi sources, are just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the technology there to facilitate this. Obviously, I think what's great is actually bringing an advantage to people's lives rather than something gimmicky. And from personal experience, for example, for my connected washing machine that tells me when the washing is done, and my wife. So when the washing is done, I don't have to shout upstairs anymore, because
mine plays a little tune.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of great.
Yeah. So the core goals of Wi-Fi 7, as we've kind of stated previously here, ultra high throughput, and we'll talk about how Wi-Fi 7 achieves that moving forwards. Ultra low latency, we spoke about that with regards to gaming, but obviously there's other latency isn't just related to gaming, it's related to other things as well, such as streaming and other bits like that, where you really don't want to see that spinning signal halfway through streaming the latest 4K episode of Stranger Things that you've been invested in for the past 50 minutes and then have to wait 5 minutes for the next scene to load. And also improving the reliability. And as Phil stated there, the reliability comes from much more crowded networks as we add more and more devices to our home network. My kettle is now part of my Wi-Fi network. So Alan's mean green tea boiling machine, I control it from my desk, turn it on, saves me one set of movement to get up and do the kettle, because now I put the kettle on to boil and then I walk over to the kettle once it's boiled, as opposed to 2 journeys. So I probably should do the 2 journeys, but it's just another example of how Wi-Fi is making everything easier for us.
Just a quick point to add to this. Yeah, Alan talks about 4K and 8K in terms of video streaming. It's not just about 4K and 8K anymore. It's about how many devices are streaming 4K and 8K at the same time. Because we're not talking just about you and your other half and your kids doing it at the same time. It's now the case of where somebody's sitting watching TV, they have their phone also, at the same time, and they're looking at 2 screens that could be streaming different contents, because this is how we consume media nowadays.
Yeah, and we've got to always remember that the 4K and 8K streams that we receive from Netflix, they're all compressed to a certain point. If we actually wanted true 4K and true 8K streams, they would be much larger than the average internet speeds that we've got now. So Wi-Fi 7, a lot of Wi-Fi 7 is about future proofing as well, as we'll move on to. So the other key technical features of Wi-Fi 7, wider channel bandwidths that allows more data. We'll talk through that a little bit more in a second. Advanced modulation techniques. So we talked a lot about QAM or QAM in Wi-Fi 6. We also talked about OFDMA a lot. Wi-Fi 7 has further enhancements in that area. And Phil's favorite, multi-link operation. We'll go through that in a little bit more depth. But basically, combining together frequency bands will allow you to reduce the congestion and allow more speed to flow through to your device at the same time. So if we move into the more in-depth stuff, and the first of those is multi-link operation. And as we said here, you can see from the diagram now, when we first started talking about Wi-Fi 7, I thought that you could combine 2 bands at the same time. But in actuality, on the D-Link routers, as long as they have 6 gigahertz built into them, you can actually combine all 3 channels at the same time. The beauty of that being is that the 6 gigahertz is the newest channel, so it has the least amount of interference, and it also has the most amount of speed. Now, the big drawback with the 6 gigahertz channel is its broadcast reach. So it is the shortest wavelength on here, which is why it's also the fastest. So now with multi-link operation, if you connect your phone to your Wi-Fi 7 router and you're walking away from it, you might get the 6 gigahertz channel when you're 10 meters away. You might then get on the 5 gigahertz channel when you're 20 meters away. And when you're right upstairs in the attic, you'll still be connected because you'll be connected to the 2.4. So you don't lose connection at any point, and you get the added advantage of the super fast speeds that come with 6 gigahertz as you move back down closer to the router.
I think just to add a little bit onto this is, as I've been saying, when you are within the coverage of all 3 bands, you know, as long as your Wi-Fi 7 wireless clients supports, it will combine the speeds of all 3 together.
Yeah. So
you get the total speed that that has been, you know, quoted by the wireless standard, as opposed to before in the past with 6 and previously. You have to always choose between one of the bands.
Yeah. But with a like a BE 9500 or 9000 like ours are, not many people are going to have 9000 coming in, are they? But they still get much better speeds, much better coverage.
But yeah, you will get
the theoretical maximum.
The links, you know, on your computer, where the Wi-Fi. If you go into Wi-Fi properties, you get to see the link speed, you know, the theoretical link speed, which it's kind of cool seeing such a big number compared to, you know, before in the past. And I'm sure as internet gets fast, you know, everyone's internet gets faster, they will make more
100%,
use of this.
100%.
It's one of the case of if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, definitely going to see more and more from this in the future as home speeds go above a gig. I know plenty of people have 2 gig at home, but you know, Wi-Fi 7 is suitable for speeds way in advance of that. So yeah.
But aside from that, just to add, because we'll talk about this later on, that there, like previous wireless standards, there is a wide range of, you know, entry level and high end.
Yes, we'll go through that when we go through our range.
But what you do get is still get you know, improvement overall experience on Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
especially on technologies like multi-link operations, where they, you know, you're just designed to get higher speeds.
Yeah, because 6 gigahertz isn't the only improvement. I mean, 6 gigahertz is made so much better because of MLO, because of the combination. But one of the other improvements is with regards to frequency bands, and this is the QAM or QAM, or however we choose to pronounce that. That really came under investigation, and we shone a light on it with regards to Wi-Fi 6, and now it's even faster when it comes to Wi-Fi 7, 20% faster than the previous version, supporting more devices at the same time, and increasing the power of MU-MIMO or MU-MIMO, or however again we choose to pronounce these Wi-Fi buzzwords that we keep hashing out again and again. But 4096 QAM on Wi-Fi 7 versus 1024 QAM on Wi-Fi 6. Kind of like the resolution on your TV, isn't it? Like 1080p versus 4K. It's just getting better and better, and more fluid and faster, and more ability to support more devices at the same time. So
just for my 2 cents on this, the MU-MIMO compared to Wi-Fi 6 is Wi-Fi 7 supports up to 16 spatial streams. So if you're familiar with MU-MIMO, the technology allows the router to talk to multiple devices at the same time without having to pause, you know, when it's talking to one device before it talks to another device. Having 16 spatial streams just gives that a little bit more capacity when it's able to simultaneously talk to multiple devices at the same time. And the QAM thing that Adam was talking about, it's, as you can see on the screen, that because they're packing more density of data, it gives you around 20% more data in the same package.
The chunks, the packages, delivered. Just a quick sum up of the other bits on here, including my favorite thing, which when I first heard, I thought it was a total fake term, preamble puncturing, but no, it is in fact a very, very real feature on Wi-Fi 7. Just to start on the bottom left there, so we've moved from 9.6 gigabits as the theoretical maximum for Wi-Fi 6 up to 46. So a big improvement there in the theoretical maximum speed. I I'd love to be anywhere near.
You don't get anywhere near.
No,
at
no,
the
you
moment,
don't,
because you're talking about maybe a router with like 20 antennas or something.
Yeah, I mean, the theoretical maximum for Wi-Fi 5 is still ways off for most users, but that as soon as you see that, you know that it's going to handle your home speeds with a lot more ease, because it's nowhere near the maximum for the threshold. And then a little bit more technical stuff there about the resource units, kind of similar to when Phil was talking about the MU-MIMO previously. Wi-Fi 6 could only support one at a time, whereas Wi-Fi 7 allows those to be combined, sorry, not confirmed, into a single device, allowing transmission to multiple RUs at the same time, which is great. And then preamble puncturing, which is my favorite, as I said. What preamble puncturing is all about interference, and what Wi-Fi 7 does with this feature is it skips past that interference. So it's kind of like a motorway, and it will jump into the fastest channel, the fastest lane that's available, to keep the Wi-Fi moving. So that's another new feature. And everything that we've talked about up to this point that enables Wi-Fi 7 to be better than Wi-Fi 6 is all down to these previous 6 features. Phil, you got anything to add on?
Yes, please. So when it comes to Wi-Fi 7, in terms of the channel width that's available, I think the maximum for 6, we're talking about 160. For 7, it goes up to 320. So for the channel width, they can be split up between
like the motorway analogy.
They can
20, 40, 80,
20, 40,
60.
80, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320. And when a device is connected onto these these wider channel width, if without preamble puncturing, if you get interference in one of the sections of the the larger channel width, it would mean the rest of the channel would be wasted. The puncturing allows the interfering, they say 20 megahertz channel to be isolated, whilst the multi RU will give the router and the ability to combine the still available channels around the interference channels together to still give you overall faster speed compared to if the channel was wasted because of interference, they're taking up some sections of that channel width that the router is using. So overall, it does basically make the experience better, especially for those devices able to connect on those higher 160 or 320 megahertz channel width bandwidths.
I use the analogy of like an advert popping up on your YouTube feed, and you're kind of waiting those 5 seconds until you can skip that advert so you can get back to your regularly scheduled programming. That's what I kind of think is the easiest way to think about preamble puncturing, because it skips past the noise, and in this case it skips past the advert and just gets you back to where you want to be. Wi-Fi 7, and so just a quick recap on everything that we've kind of talked through. Don't need to spend too long on this because we've obviously talked about this, but as we talked about the number of devices, Wi-Fi 7 handles the growth of data traffic, the growth from devices, the need for almost everything in your home to be connected to your network. Wi-Fi 6 did that in a very efficient way, but Wi-Fi 7 has added several improvements to it to improve that. Implementations for smart applications, as it says on here, Wi-Fi 7 seamless operations has added to its efficiency when it comes to monitoring smart systems, security cameras, and it's more reliable than previous iterations. But also here about the business upgrades. Now, not ruining the spoiler for when we bring Mark in to talk more about business applications and the access points. Wi-Fi 7 is almost essential for businesses using cloud. All of the extra computing power that they're using when it comes to AI functionality, smart factories. AI is just almost everywhere in every business at the moment, and people aren't making the most of it by having higher speed connections that will allow it to work as fast as it can. And by having Wi-Fi 7, you can really enable that AI functionality to help out your business. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we move on to look at the access points in the next section. Okay, so I was going to ask the guys, but now we'll move on to the dealing portfolio because we're already about half an hour into the webinar. So and we've still got a fair few slides to get through. So let's move on a bit because we love talking about Wi-Fi 7. So yeah. As you see on the screen here, a quick overview. There's more D-Link products coming in the Wi-Fi 7, but these are the main players. And we'll obviously start with the home portfolio of routers. So these are kind of split into two sections where we have the super fast BE9500, M95 and R95. So the M95 is on the left, which takes advantage of internal antennas, and then the R95 on the right takes advantage of external antennas. And to be perfectly honest, the choice between these two is fairly probably fairly cosmetic, because obviously we've got super powered antennas in both of them. So if you are very much all about the looks, then you've got the M95 that doesn't have the extra external antennas. But if you do need that extra little bit of broadcast area, if you do live in a larger house, the external antennas on the M95 do allow you a little bit more of flexibility with regards to how you point them and how you set the system up. And then we have the two more entry-level Wi-Fi 7 routers in the BE3600 range. So we've got the R36 and M36. Now, both of these routers don't have 6 gigahertz on them, and that's why they're more of an entry-level product. They're less than half the price of the R95 and the M95, but they do have all of the other features, such as preamble puncturing and MLO and those other bits. Obviously, on the MLO is just 2.4 and 5 gigahertz on these, but we are kind of we're pitching this as an all-in-one mesh solution. So every device that you can see on the screen here will mesh with the other device. So for instance, if you wanted an R95 downstairs, you could pitch an M36 upstairs and create a mesh network between the two, because the the R95 will power your downstairs where most of your devices are, and then the lower powered M36 upstairs to broadcast the signal to any smart TVs or any other devices you've got upstairs.
Just for all those keen mathematicians out there, you should have worked out that the 6 gigahertz on the M95 R95 supports speeds up to around 5,764. So it's basically the number difference between the 95 and the 36. And then this is the bit where Alan was talking on earlier about the 6 gigahertz can provide incredible speeds, but it does have certain limitations that
range. In a minute. Range. Yeah. Okay. So create a nice little network with those. Now we've got a quick little video here that shows that in action. The M95 stationed downstairs is the main router, and then two more M36s kind of positioned in other places to create a network. So one device covering up to 2,800 square feet. You can note here the spherical coverage of those, which allows the routers to easily overlap with each other, creating these spheres that cover the whole house. And that's because of the positioning of the antennas is around the, which we'll call them wings.
You mean omnidirectional antennas?
Omnidirectional antennas positioned around the rings allow this spherical transmission which easily covers your whole house a lot easier than certain other solutions. So that's why when we talk about the M95 and the R95, because the omnidirectional antennas, thank you, Mark, are so powerful, it doesn't really make that much difference between the internal and external solutions. So everything I just said, yeah, summed up on the screen there. So let's move on from there, and let's bring in Mark now, because Mark loves access points.
To complement some of the consumer products, we've got a range of business grade Wi-Fi 7 access points, and the start of this, or the entry level product that we do, is the DAP 9560. I don't know what I'm reading. Two different things there. This is a Wi-Fi 7 access point. It's going to have one 10 gigabit PoE enabled and one 2.5 gigabit enabled PoE port on the device. Why has it got a 10 gigabit Ethernet port? Some people ask. Well, to get the true speeds of Wi-Fi 7, you're gonna need to attach a faster or a more powerful switch. So it's something we can help with. We do multi-gig, but we'll come to that in a bit. Essentially, why businesses are looking at Wi-Fi 7 for all the reasons we just discussed before. Things like traffic, congestion, where people are bringing newer devices, where we're using more complicated, more data hungry, more data demanding applications. So this is why, education would potentially look at Wi-Fi 7, especially with older students. So things like colleges, sixth forms, universities will potentially need this technology to keep them relevant, to keep them competitive, and also to keep their networks, their Wi-Fi networks, free and working.
Because of all the VR and
things like bring your own device, where you've got all these students and you've got people, bringing the devices that they're comfortable with. Yeah. And some of these are going to be Wi-Fi 5, some of them are going to be Wi-Fi 6, but a load of new students probably for Christmas got Wi-Fi 7 enabled laptops, and they just need to keep up with the trend and provide a strong, fast. Our Wi-Fi 7 access points, so that 9560 is Nucleus Connect compatible. I don't know why I keep giving you the wrong part code, boys and girls. I do apologise.
It's close enough.
It's Nucleus Connect compatible, meaning that you can centrally manage the device. Yeah. So you can put clusters of these access points together, along with certain models of our DGS switches, and we can manage that as a central location. So the software will tell you what's going on within that network, allow you to add things like security settings, SSIDs, all the stuff that you guys are very used to within business, you can add on there.
Just a quick point on the...
Yeah, we can use the access points in different deployment settings. So things just like a standard access points where it's connected into your network. You've got devices on there, or you can use them for Wi-Fi bridges so they can broadcast between them, create a stable connection.
Yeah, point to point and all sorts. So this is the flagship model, the BE 9500. This is the highest spec one. This is the only model in the range that has the 6 gigahertz built into it. This one, the reason that we've put Nucleus Connect on it is that this access point is available now, and Nucleus Connect is available now. And we'll talk about the ones that are coming fairly soon, which will probably be around Q3. So we've got the 3620, 3620W, and the 3620OU. The differences between these is the 3620 is your common or garden access point. The W is the wall plate version, as you can see here.
It's designed to be a discrete access point that will sort of blend into its surroundings, perfect for things like hotel rooms or small meeting rooms. Things like that.
It was so discreet, I had to draw the circle around it so that people could see it, because they didn't know it was there. So that's the W stands for wall point. And then in the next version on this rather natty holiday location here, we've got the 3620OU, which stands for outdoor unit.
They will come in IP rated, so in the world of of outdoorness. IP rating means waterproof or weatherproofing, and they will come in an IP rated case, meaning that they can you know, get rained on, get a bit of water pushed on them, perfect for an outdoor environment. So if it's a pub, if it's a bar, a coffee shop, anything like that that's trying to provide Wi-Fi for its patrons.
For an outdoor area.
Yeah, for a general outdoor area, it can provide Wi-Fi for its patrons. You guys can use it while sitting in the sunshine.
Fingers crossed.
Well,
you know, looking outside, all of the rain.
30
fingers
days
crossed.
in.
Yeah. So all of, as we mentioned, all of these are the same spec. They are all BE 3600, 2x2 plus 2x2 access points. And obviously we've talked about the lower latency and high traffic use that they're built upon. Phil, map each SSID to a dedicated VLAN for traffic segmentation. That was a point that you brought up yesterday as a good selling point for these devices.
So what you can do is, for businesses, it's always a good practice to create segmented VLANs for different types of traffic, whether it's for staff or for students, for guests, and what the ability to basically assign a VLAN to a specific SSID just gives you that extra bit of security down. You know, when they're connected to a specific SSID, they automatically assign to a VLAN where they have no, you know, you can control where or what they can access within the network. Without the business having to, you know, traditionally having to assign VLANs based on things like MAC addresses or ports, since we're connecting on wires.
Yeah.
One other thing to mention, I don't know, just maybe Alan will tell me off, but on the slide earlier, when it comes to 6 gigahertz for the DAP
E9560.
9560. Sorry. The 6 gigahertz especially in a business type environment where the access points are more likely to be installed in the direct line of sight of the computer or the device that you're connecting to. It really comes into play because there's nothing in between, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges using a 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi is that they do tend to have a slightly shorter range, especially when you have things like wars or wall size between the client.
We've had some people say the 6 gigahertz struggles to get out of their cupboards if they've got their Wi-Fi in a cupboard.
It depends on the
line
planning.
of sight.
Line of sight. But in a business environment, it's a lot easier for it to be effective because
it's that for open plan, you know, office spaces or classrooms and things like that.
Exactly the image that I've used here, the 6 gigahertz for this team sat in front of that router, they would get a fantastically good signal there. And the last point, Mark talked about Nucleus Connect. The next phase of our Nucleus will be Nucleus Unity. Nucleus Unity will be our platform that brings Cloud and Connect together as one. But we're not really in a position to talk much more about Nucleus Unity at the moment. It's going through testing. They're adding features to it every single day. But we should be able to do a full webinar about this probably March, April time. In time for the launch and getting people on there, but you can guarantee that Nucleus Unity is going to have a great feature set and offer everything that Cloud and Connect do, if not more. So looking forward to releasing that one.
One thing that Alan missed out, it is a 100% cloud platform.
I didn't miss it out. I didn't say it.
in case, but that's what the
spoiler alert over there.
It's coming soon.
It's coming soon. Yeah, no, Phil's
Nucleus Unity coming soon.
Phil's exactly right to point that out. And we'll see much more flexibility. We'll see stuff around stacking and all that other stuff, and we'll bring all of that to you moving forward. Mark can't wait for that because Mark is king of Nucleus Cloud, and he really wants to get on with Unity. So not letting Mark speak. So moving on.
I'm itching switches on my phone.
Switches. So that's why I'm moving on. So we sat down and we went through this presentation yesterday, and we realised that it wouldn't be complete without a quick switching guide here. So what we've got is we've got a couple of recommendations for home and then a couple of recommendations for business. So Phil, if you want to do a quick overview of the home switches, and then Mark will do the business switches, just to say why we're recommending the ones.
Well, why would we want to look at the switches to start off with? And I would suggest if we're looking at Wi-Fi 7, because of the, you know, if you need or if you want the increased performance, you're going to have to look at the networking, the backbone, the products that complement it all, and things like.
So the R95 and M95, they do have 2.5 gigabit WAN LAN ports at WAN and LAN port at the back, and because of the capabilities there already, it gives you very easy way to expand your multi-gigabit wide network with the simple switch. So the thing has a growing range of unmanaged desktop 2.5 gig switches. As you can see, they range anything from 5 ports to 8 ports. Some are PoE, some are even bigger if you do have that kind of requirements. And depending if you do have high performance NASs that has multi-gigabit ports in the back, you can really take advantage of of this using our high-end Wi-Fi 7 home routers.
The 1016 is selling very, very well at the moment because there's not that many companies out there who have 16 and 24 ports versions of these switches. There's a lot of focus around the 5 and the 8 and the 7, which we also have. But the 16 port is doing really well. Being from a trusted brand like ourselves as well is kind of helping us out here. So yeah, these options are fantastic, especially if you're wanting to go down the line of putting these into a cupboard and having a more wired solution, because even though Wi-Fi 7 is as close to wired as any iteration of Wi-Fi has ever been, there is still security and other aspects, latency improvements that come from a wired connection. Like we always say here, wire up as much of your network as you can. Like, we love Wi-Fi, but wire up as much as you can. So Mark, DMS 1250 and DXS.
Yeah, so both are smart managed switching offerings in this portfolio. The DMS 1250 are a series of 2.5 gigabit smart switches. So they've got 10 gigabit SFP uplinks. Some are high-powered PoE models, so we can support up to 90 watts port on a PoE model. Others have extended PoE, and what we mean by that is usually for a 24-port switch, normally the PoE budget is about 350 odd watts. Some of these products are close to sort of 500 watts and 700 watts to give them that extra power. Reason why we don't need that is because some of these Wi-Fi 7 access points just require a little bit more draw. The good thing about them, with the increased power budgets, we can help with things like PTZ cameras and CCTV and surveillance cameras that need them. On the other side of it, we've got the DXS 1250 series. This is a 10 gigabit smart switch. This particular model shown is 24 ports. It's got 25 gigabit uplinks, but it's got PoE ports on there to give you true 10 gigabit power over Ethernet. And that's great if you want to install Wi-Fi 7 access points, or if you need high-powered, high-speed PoE.
So that would be great as the core kind of thing in this scenario.
Well, this particular switch, if you were going to use it for Wi-Fi 7, obviously you would plug the access points into it, and then you would plug it using the SFPs back into your core or however the topology is. But if you guys want to know more about these products, myself and the wider team are always happy to have a conversation. So please feel free to.
You might have noticed that early on, the DAPE 9560 does have a 10 gigabit port at the back. So to have a matching 10 gigabit PoE switch supporting that will basically cut out any bottlenecks that you may have in your network.
5G. So we've got a new range of 5G products coming very soon that are Wi-Fi 7 enabled. The G572 and the G536. In this case, neither device actually operates with the 6 gigahertz, but we are still expecting these products to produce super high, super fast performance, especially with the theoretical maximums of 5G being whatever they say they are today. It's 3.4, 4.3, new radio, all of those kind of things. But we built two devices here to give people a choice between the two. So the G572 comes with TS9 ports. So these are the more compact antennas that go on the back, or the G536 comes with SMA antennas on the back. So we're giving people who our customers a choice here between these two sets of models. The two devices, the G572 is BE 7200 and the G536 is BE 3600. So both within the theoretical maximum of sort of 5G connections. If people are getting 2 to 3 gig on 5G, they're doing very, very well. But we are expecting the core network to increase, the speeds to go up as we move away from 5G NSA to a more 5G SA model, which is moving away from the non-standalone, which is basically a load of 4G networks combined to make 5G speeds. And the UK builds out its SA network, its standalone network, so the devices will get quicker and quicker. These devices are built to power your entire households. So connect up to 256 devices without connection, and then you've got all the ports on the back that you would want there. One 2.5 gigabit WAN port, 4 gigabit LAN ports. In the case with these routers, you can connect them up to your modem and use an existing broadband connection as a failover device, a failover solution if your 5G connection ever goes down. Because we kind of know that with 5G, you can get brilliant speeds 1 minute, but then the network becomes more busy. It's not like broadband, which is more of a constant speed. We don't really get slowdowns during rush hours on broadband so much anymore, but 5G is a little bit more up and down when it comes to that. So with 5G as your main solution, it does pay to have something as a backup for that.
Just to quickly add to that, aside from the Wi-Fi speeds that Alan mentioned, that's faster on the G572, it does also support a slightly, not slightly, but much faster 5G download speeds of up to just over 7 gigabits per second.
Ooh.
Whereas the G536, I think it's around 4.67. So the matching 5G performance to those Wi-Fi 7 speeds.
Yeah, we've got to get that 5G network faster to take advantage of these, though, because we built them and 5G is just lagging a little bit behind. So just to say now, because we're going to go into a section in a minute where we talk about devices and the compatibility of devices with Wi-Fi 7, which if we did this webinar 2 years ago, we would basically have a list well, very, very short. You could write the list of compatible devices with Wi-Fi 7 on the back of a postage stamp. What D-Link have done now is we have just launched the AE65U, which is a BE6500 Wi-Fi 7 USB adapter. So you can plug this into any PC, Macintosh, desktop device, and you can bring Wi-Fi with all of its Wi-Fi 7 with all of its beauty and enhancements to any home computer. So just to go through there, it's compatible with multi-link operation, as we talked about, so you can combine the signals together. There's 2 adjustable antennas there, so you can see there it's in bunny ears mode and in the cradle. If you don't want to use the cradle, you can take the device out of the cradle and plug it into the USB port on your machine. You can put the bunny ears as they are there. You can have them facing up, or you can collapse them down, depending on your situation at the time. The device is set up in seconds. The drivers are preloaded on the device, so all it needs to be done is connect up to the Bluetooth, and you're away and receiving Wi-Fi 7 on your laptop in seconds. Anything to add, guys, on this one? I love this little device.
Not really. Not particularly. It's a good looking product, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's in very much in the style of our new range, white with a hint of blue. So fitting in with our sort of lifestyle arrangement there. And we were very disappointed because when we got the Wi-Fi 6 device, the first one, we didn't get the little carry caddy. But this time we've made sure that we've got the little carry caddy, because it makes it easier for you to push this. If you need the device to be close to the router, you can take advantage of the cable, move it away. If it's too much on your desk, you can place it somewhere else, and picks up a great signal. So
I think it gives you a cause of actually more, because most laptops now do come with Wi-Fi for such a long time.
Of course, already, yeah.
But you know, for existing laptops that
just give older devices,
it's a very quick, easy update without you know, it's plug and play, and you can take benefit of Wi-Fi 7 on slightly older machines straight away.
Yeah, because you don't want to buy a new laptop every Wi-Fi standard, do you? You want to buy a new laptop when there's a need for you to buy a new laptop.
Not the laptop I bought,
no, especially not Mark, who's just bought himself this lovely new gaming rig. But is your gaming rig Wi-Fi 7 enabled?
Yes, it is.
See, there you go. So Mark's not going to be buying one of these, but he's one of the very few out there
with 64 gigs of RAM.
He never shuts up about his 64 gigs of RAM. And I mean, now it's about time for the honesty part of the presentation, because I think it's disingenuous to tell everybody who exists in the marketplace that Wi-Fi 7 is an essential upgrade for them. There are some contingencies for you to place, which we've talked about through the webinar. So in my point of view, to upgrade to Wi-Fi 7 to make the most of it, you probably should have multi-gigabit or at least gigabit speeds coming into your home. So if you've got speeds of 1 gig or faster, Wi-Fi 7 is probably required to see those speeds wirelessly. The other reason to upgrade is if you're a hardcore gamer or VR users, because of the improvement to latency, thanks to MLO, the combination. That's where you'll see the real improvement in the speeds using MLO on a gaming rig, on a virtual reality rig, and then just hitting that all 3 channels at the same time for the lowest lag possible. You've got loads and loads of devices in your home. As Phil was talking about, the 320 megahertz channels, very unused, loads of space on there, much better congestion handling by a Wi-Fi 7 device. And if you want to be future-proof, Wi-Fi 7 will probably be in and around for the next 5 to 7 years. Wi-Fi 6 was launched in 2019, became the sort of standard in 2021 and remained it through 2025. So you've had about 4 years there, and maybe now Wi-Fi 7 is taking over in 2026, but that would fit in with the 5 to 7 years. You will see people talking about Wi-Fi 8, but I think that it is still a ways off and a little bit disingenuous to be talking about Wi-Fi 8 while most people still haven't upgraded to 7. Why you should wait? I'll just whiz through these quickly before the guys come in and add to it. But Wi-Fi 7s the Wi-Fi 7 routers can be expensive. Some other vendors up to £400. But D-Links have just been launched. The R95 and the M95 are both sub 200, and that's for the key models, the R95, the M95. The M36, the R36 will be under £100, probably maybe even under 80 once they launch. We're expecting them to be in with us very soon. Most devices do not support Wi-Fi 7. Let's just put that out there. I've got a list of some of them that will come up next for people to have a look at. But the main reason to not wait is that Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E is still excellent. It's still capable with a lot of the current generation 4K browsing, casual gaming. A higher end Wi-Fi 6 or 6E router is probably enough. I would suggest that upgrading from an AX 1500 to a BE 9500 will be a big improvement for most people. But if you've got a higher end, a sort of AX 3000, AX 6000, and you don't have multi-gig internet, you probably won't see a great improvement. So again, the stuff that we've listed here is more about a casual internet user as opposed to a hardcore gamer or a VR user. Okay. Anything to add on?
No, I agree with all them points. I think your first one on the multi-gigabit speeds, and if you're paying, I think the average internet connection in the UK is what, 300-400 megabits.
No, the average is about 68.
Oh, is it?
Because
just basing it off my own connection, and I'm assuming.
Yeah, it will increase, but obviously it's done for it's about 68 because there's so many still.
Yeah, so essentially the internet connection is the bottleneck. Just remember, if you're passing files between machines, that's probably where you're going to find some speed improvements.
Yeah. The great thing is OpenReach is very, very busy at work in the last
hiring other companies to do it for them.
So they are you can see them advertising and actually telling people, more and more we're coming to the area, and it's almost inevitable that most places will have very fast gigabits internet speeds.
Yeah, I think what you're finding as well is that because people are going to gigabit, they're upgrading their router with their ISP at the same time. So a lot of people are coming in and they're getting either base level routers, very basic systems, and they're either paying an extra fee on a monthly basis to have that router. And my suggestion would be it's always better just go out, do your own little research and think, actually, that system, I own that system. And then if I end my contract with these guys, they're not going to take my router back off me. I'm not going to have to take the whole system out because I own the router. It's mine. It's in the system. I just get a replacement ISP to come and provide my signal.
Not forgetting 5G that we just mentioned.
Not for 5G, no. 5G is much more.
Not forgetting 5G because the speeds are also catching up to make use of Wi-Fi 7.
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, 5G has got its own set of advantages over home broadband, which we've been through in the 5G webinar that we did last year. But just a quick list of devices here. So these are all Wi-Fi 7 compatible. So you'll see there, PlayStation 5 Pro. Good news for anybody who's got £800 spare for a gaming system. That's compatible with Wi-Fi 7. Most new surfaces, tablets made in the last year or so. TVs are coming out now with the with Wi-Fi 7 compatibility. You can see some models on there, and then the all-important smartphones. So the iPhone 16, S24, S25, and the Google Pixels. So some very, very popular phones on there are now all working on Wi-Fi 7.
Of course, iPhone 17s as well.
iPhone 17, yeah. That didn't come up on the AI search. So iPhone 17, anything above an iPhone 16, anything above a S24, upcoming. It says upcoming S25. I'm not sure if they're or not.
I have no idea.
But so devices now, more and more devices in the home. It's not the same as it was, as I said, a couple of years ago. That more and more devices are getting added for the compatibility stakes. So we'll draw the curtains on this webinar. That's far too much of me talking for anybody to put up with. Just to summarize on the end there, if you do want to take the next step with Wi-Fi 7, we are here and we are available for any of your queries. Just pop us in the email through on the UKI-sales@dlink.com. Have a look at our website, eu.dlink.com. There's a lovely Wi-Fi banner for the Wi-Fi 7 products as you load in the page, so you can see more about those. But as I said, do shoot us an email over, and we'll get back to you with any questions or queries that you have. That's about it for the webinar. I'll sign off, and we'll be looking to come back to you in the next couple of weeks. We'll be doing, much to Mark's happiness, we'll be doing an overview of the D-Link switching range, talking through in more detail the DMS switches, the DXS switches we showed you earlier, and maybe even touch a little bit on stacking, VLANs, and all those other super interesting topics that,
excited
that we choose to bring to you. So thanks to everyone for joining. If you haven't said any questions, if you want to watch a replay, this will be up on our YouTube channel shortly. But thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
Bye, all.